That look when your favorite band is covering one of your favorite songs. Isn't that awesome when that works out? When one of your... Tell me when that's happened. It's happened a few times for me where one of my favorite bands has covered one of my favorite songs ever. And this is one of those times where Revocation and their incredible guitar player, Dave Davidson... Not to mention, I mean, they have more than one guitar player in that band. It's worth mentioning that the entire band, every single member of Revocation is insanely talented. Like next level, holy fuck talented. Let's not let... Dave is not the entire band. Holy fuck though, what a cover. Whoa, ho, ho, ho. How's it going, guys? How are you? Bring that back. We're checking out. Just check it out. I wish I would wish I had a bigger stream deck so I could program some audio samples into it. I think I'd like to do that at some point and find a way to use some more audio samples. Like have you guys ever seen John C. Reilly's Check It Out? I'm assuming you have. I have to assume that you have seen John C. Reilly's Check It Out. If you haven't, you're grab some popcorn or grab some snacks and something else and have some fun because you're about to laugh a lot. Now, what are we doing today, guys? We are checking out the recently upgraded and updated. Oh, that's I can extend it. There's different views, I think, in this one as well. Is there not? I think there might be a few different views to go through in this as well. So we'll see. We'll see. I think it's looking okay. It's looking fine right now. And I know this is TH-U2 is... Eddie, what's going on, by the way? Pedro, how are you? And if you're in the chat, as we always say, don't necessarily have to lurk, guys. Say hi. If you... we had some guy the other... Well, I believe his name was maybe Jonathan? I can't remember. There's a fella who chimed in and said, like, you know, you guys are just smarter than me, so I just shut up and I lurk. No. We have a lot of non-AmpSim related chat here as well. Plus, if you have questions, you're a newer user, intermediate level user, or just someone that's been using, maybe you've been using AmpSims for a really long time, but you've only been using one or two developers and you're just starting to realize that, hey, there's other stuff going on out here outside of my one or two user groups. Cold in this house right now. We had just a wicked snowstorm, and it snowed enough, guys, but it didn't snow enough to get me off the hook from work. Although I just didn't go because there was too much. The roads were not safe, and I just didn't feel like doing it. So I used a sick day today, but spoke with my boss as well. So all is well. So yeah, anyways, we are going to be using TH-U from Overloud today and just hanging out. Caleb, how are you? Pedro, what's going on, everybody? It's Friday. Be excited, get pumped, and move along into what is certainly going to be a fun day of content. Also today, I'm excited to be able to test this out and go over some of the thoughts on it. And there are some people that don't mind the $30 upgrade upcharge for a better UI. Fair, because the UIs, there are upgrades and updates in UIs all the time, guys, in the technology that's used to do these. And I mean, whether you want to say it out loud or not, there are certain developers that are definitely using AI when it comes to creating some of the textures and some of the things they're doing. And hey, I have no problem with that. If that's if that's the way the developer wants to go, depending on what they have going on in-house. I don't mean is that the graphic designers are being fired. It's just so the guy at the top of the company can use AI and whatever. What I'm saying, because there's a lot more to creating a good UI than just using images with the AI. It's a whole different vibe to make something that is fluid, something that runs nice, something that's smooth, something that can be resized really well, something that's functional. The workflow is great. And now this one, as far as I know, they have made some nice upgrades. I've noticed some small differences here and there. And we're going to start with just some rig player tones. If you've never heard of the rig player before, it's essentially, to me, it's got a good quality. It does. Whether you are a fan of the profiled stuff or not, it really does. There are some really great tones. We're going to go to the angle and just go through some of the tones seen here. And I am using my Ibanez Iceman made in China version. Snappy. Okay, we're gonna get up here. That's clean. We're gonna go to the lead high gain now. Hold up. I knew that was gonna give you a bump. Sorry, guys. Now the tracing not tracing amplifier, but like we'll say the profiler portion actually does allow you for, oh boy, it does actually allow you for a reasonable amount of moving around. It does a pretty good job. You can also unhook the cab, as far as I understand, matched. And yeah, you can change the cabs around if you'd like. It allows you to change cabs around. You can also unlink the cab, if I'm not mistaken, in some of them. Now in the tube, sorry, the amp, there's the amp portion. Okay. I see. This is locked. Okay. So now you can choose cabinets, or you can use your own. I'm not the hugest, I'm not going to say I'm the hugest fan of any profiler versus like the actual modeling. Sounding pretty good so far. I don't know that it's cheaping out. I don't really have theories. I think that as long as there's an actual graphic designer in-house, what I mean is I think that there are a lot of graphic designers even just dabbling a little bit of AI here and there just for textures on certain things, just to give it a more of a realistic look. Hey, no judgment. Because UIs are hard to make. So you need to have a graphics person in-house to do a UI. UIs are not easy to do, especially those with like being the resizable ones and what. These are not easy to do effectively. And there's no way AI is at the point where it's going to come up with a whole functional UI for you. You might be able to get it to help you with some textures on fucking knobs and things of that sort, and come up with like, you know, like the Tolexes and snakeskin, you know, stuff like that. Like maybe little things here and there, but I think ultimately it's mostly still being done. And by the way, I'm not saying that's the case with TH-U at all. I think $30 from what I'm seeing right now, $30 is a pretty good price for this this level of an upgrade. It's a good upgrade. There's nothing wrong with it. And like I said, I'm not the hugest fan of the rig player stuff. I mean, the chop tone stuff is what it is. Chop tones is, they make some nice IRs. I've just never really, I think everything else that they do in-house is all just profiles for various modelers and things and such. I don't know that they have an amp sim that they call like the best amp sim ever or something. Like they literally say the greatest amp sim or the most complete amp simmer, but it's really just like a small sort of thing. I don't really know. I haven't tried. Has anybody tried that amp sim? Is it any good? And if no one's tried it, does someone want to volunteer to go and grab the free version and see what's up? I don't know. Anyways, one thing they didn't do, and I would have liked to have seen with the 2.0, is add a little bit of gear. Add a couple amps or just something to be like, hey, you know, like, yeah, it's not just a UI, or it's just like mostly a UI and a couple of new amps, or a new amp, new cabinet, and a new pedal. Something on top of the UI would have probably softened that blow for some folks. but I think some people are just intent on complaining. But if you're a regular TH-U user, I would say this upgrade is pretty nice. So we're going to get to some chains here. We just got started with some basic levels. I am going to go with TH-U metal. Oh boy. These metal things. Actually, you know what? Let's go to the Randalls. You know what? Screw all that. Let's just build our own chain. We're going to build our own. We're not even going to go with a preset here. There's a billion, though. If you're a preset fan, there's a billion. A billion presets. Looking just inside, each one of these there's probably 40 to 50 presets in all of these folders or more. There's 40, 41. And you can just meet the Randalls. I got to open this a little bit bigger just to see a little bit more. I was trying to see how big or how much I could squish it down, but they actually give you the opportunity to just kind of move things around a little bit and jog things, which is nice. And Meet the Randalls is pretty awesome. We will get to those Randalls because I know that's like Eddie's he's digging those Randalls. So in all of these drop-down menus, there's a ton of presets. There are many, many for everything. Building blocks, dirt. So you can go to the building blocks and just go, yes, okay. Okay, this is great. So we just got a building blocks tone. This is just an amp and a cab, and I can switch that at my leisure. So if I want to switch, replace with, and I can go through all of this, or I can just drag and drop. And in this case, I kind of wanted to go with their super cab. We'll get to super cab in a minute. That's another thing. One thing with a lot of these is you could dump a lot of money into like TH-U or Tone Hub or really anything that's got like the, we'll call it almost DLC. It pretty much is. Just stuff where you can get more if you pay a little more. The rig packs, be careful because the rig packs can really add up. The super cabinets, cat hair. The super cabinets can also can get kind of expensive if you're moving things around. Now, we've got it in this case. I've got give me a second to recall this cabinet section. Okay, so you can just crack this open and then you can just adjust. You've got the two different mics here. This is all finding level. You've got your pan, angle, and everything else. You can put this on a 45, which is nice, or you can not. I could go with 257s. In this case, I'm just going to go with my usual assortment because I'm just wanting to see what's up. I'm going to go with my 421. And then we're just going to go with that. And I'm going to move that around a little bit. I think, does that have an angle on it? It does. Is that an angle? No angle on it. Interesting. Okay, so the graphic just threw me. So I'm going to just kind of do it like that. And I'm just going to make that fluid IRs. Interesting. This is a fluid IR. I don't know. Sorry. Fluid IRs are supercharged impulse responses, also reproduce the dynamic and nonlinear responses of the speaker. Bango. This is not possible with standard IRs enable for increased realism and immersion open settings. I see. Interesting. We'll talk about that a little bit more, I suppose, when I learn a bit more about it. Now, let's see where we're at. I'm going to make sure I grab an amp now that I want a little bit more. So let's go with... Oh, I have to make sure I move this over a little bit. Sorry, folks. I may have to just drag and drop this around a little bit as we're moving. So just bear with me. All right, let's see which amp do I want to start with. It's cool because you can do some additions to some of these. It enables you to change the power tubes and the preamp tubes, which is pretty cool. That's not available on all of these, but a lot of them it is. So first, I'm going to go with the Randall. Where are my Randalls? Okay, my Randall, I'm going to go, no, I'm not going to go. I'm going to go T2. I know Eddie wanted the T2 overdrive or boost, Eddie. How's it going, Rudy, man? How are you? Do all the do all the AmSim companies have graphic designers? Yes. Absolutely. Most of them either have a graphic designer in-house or in like, he's not shy about it. Our own team member here, Lewin Albani, works for a number of developers and doing their UIs, and he's pretty open about the fact that he works for multiple developers. So he's in a case where they don't have somebody in-house, they will hire somebody that works on contract for multiple developers. That's always kind of got multiple things on the go. He is one of the absolute best in the business. So if you're ever curious about more about that, and anybody has questions about UIs and stuff like that, let us know. And if we can't answer it in the chat, we'll fire it over to our main guy and our expert on UIs, which is Lewin Albani. So we're always happy to answer questions like that. Nice. The boost section, you got her. You got her. All right, let's see what we got here. Just straight out of the blocks with no boost Cs or nothing. That's actually pretty nice. Heads up. See, we're into some nice tones already. I like this. So let's get into these nice tones. Let's wheel this back. I have some ideas. Eddie, do you have, how do you set this amp up? Nice. Thomas, how are you? Nice. That angle IR, what other IRs do you mix in? Because it's dark. What do you mean? The angle IR my Ega? We were actually just talking yesterday about this things that I do to brighten up that IR from time to time. Or brightening up something like a DV77 as we were talking about yesterday as well. Things I do to brighten that IR up is if I use a really bright pickup like this, for example, or if the tube screamer has a little extra on the tone, maybe there's some more top end in the amp, maybe that brings out exactly what I want. But if not, I will blend in, it's crazy enough as it sounds, I will blend in a tiny bit of this 1x6 impulse response from Dr. Bonkers as well, called the Aloha 1x6, and it's pretty dang cool. All right, let's throw a screamer out front of this guy. And these are the cabinets that are available. We have super cabinet. We'll throw in some different cabinets over time. So we have a bunch of pedals, but I'm just going to go with the average ass tube screamer. And this looks way better. The last tube screamer was very bland looking, and I'll be honest with you, it needed a graphic update. It did. And why would they release a whole new plugin and then just... It would have been like, I actually kind of like the way they did it. $30 just for a brand new, really nice, functional and terrific UI that makes all the components look better, a little more depth in things. I really like it. So far, so good. Also, by the way, Rudy, for a couple of streams, I've actually been using Nadir on... I had it really choking off the top end of that IR, which I didn't entirely notice at first, but whatever. It is what it is. It's a dark cabinet, so it was kind of difficult to tell when you had rolled a little extra of the top end off. Oh my gosh, hear that? It's terrible. Anyways, it's Friday. I'm excited. I think we're going to eat some Detroit-style pizza tonight. Ooh la la, very exciting. I'm super pumped about it. We have this pizza place that's a couple blocks away And it is delicious. They make we do not live in Detroit, by the way. They make a Detroit style pizza. We also do not live in Windsor. That's not where we live either. Don't worry. I know that Ron D. Rock, I think, it lives in Windsor. If you don't know Soundstack, Loudstack. I remember his old studio. Never mind. Loudstack. If you haven't heard, you got to check out Loudstack. This guitar was giving me some problems last time I tried it in a stream, and it's deciding to give me some issues today too. That's okay, because I'm not giving up on you. I'm not going to give up on you. It's this plain G string. It's really bugging me. I really need a wound. Anything tuned lower than D, I really like having a wound G. If I can get it. And the guitar store nearest to me just does not have those sets, which sort of is making it a little bit tougher to shop in my neighborhood. But at the same time, I did tell them last time, I was like, hey, if you guys were to carry more of these sets, I would probably buy them if you want to, or even if you order like, a small bunch of them, I'll buy like 3 or 4 of everything. Again, here we are. Battling with the tune. So I hope you guys are having a terrific day. We're going to be doing some hinting today. We're going to be doing some hinting today as towards the fun potential the potential next project you may be seeing come down the pipe. And a project that myself, Eddie, and Bo have been working along on, and man, couldn't be more excited about it. Again, why are you trying to buck me today, guitar? Why is it trying to buck me today? It's really trying. I don't know why this guitar is so intent. That's pretty much the last straw, though. The last time I got this new tuner, and these tuners, just ever since I bought this guitar, have been suspect. But they actually were working just fine for a bit. But now all of a sudden, these tuners they're slipping for sure. When I lay into it harder, I can feel that they're slipping. So yeah, gonna have to hit the Geiker. If you haven't heard of Geiker yet, is Guyker. They're making some very, very nice, pretty good quality replacement parts that sell for pretty dirt cheap. We could have a discount from them and like put it in our comments and stuff. If that's something you guys might be interested in, like one of those like affiliate links. I'm not super interested in doing those, but if that's something you guys might actually, you guys might want to buy some of those parts, cool. Let us know. Again, we might have to do the switch, folks. We might have to do the old switch ski. That's annoying. Okay, let's try this again. Oh, I got a note off there. There's definitely a note off. Where'd I go wrong? Ah, that's what happened. That's what happened. I was just like, wait, what? When I did the string stretch, it went way up on me. Yeah. There it is. That's the G. I'll show you the B string. Not really sure. I don't play in this tuning as much as I would like. And ever since I've had to get used to the sharps instead of the flats, I'm one of those people that's just heard the same thing the same way for a long time. Holy cow. I feel half inept right now. What's going on right now? Perfect. Ah, I see what's going on here. It's a little off. Don't understand why. Here we go again. All right, we got there eventually, folks. Yeah, man. Man, I saw some of the videos there, Eddie. That's stoked. I'm sorry. That's sick. I'm stoked for you. New York for pizza is where it's at. Yeah, well, actually, I would agree. I would agree and disagree. I've been to New York. It was only one time. And I would argue that in this country, the king of pizza, in fact, I would go as far as saying, and somebody might want to beat me up for this or something, but whatever. But I was going to say that maybe the food capital of Canada is probably Montreal. And when I was living there, there was more pizza, more amazing pizza of every shape, size, and every style you could imagine for affordable pricing. This was, mind you, it was a very long time ago when I lived there, when I was 18 and 19 years old. Which was a long time ago, but still, I would say the pizza there, and we're adding a new topic of conversation here. Pizza. We're gonna add pizza to the mix, along with video games. We were talking about movies as well. I also want to give props to Jacobra Records. That dude's doing some fun content. He's calling out some people. I mean, he's calling out some folks doing some stuff. That Rings and Standard guy. All right, guys. It's bugging me to an unrational degree. The speakers in that TH-U cab have screws. Those cabs either came with a V30 or G12. Oh, I can hear something peeking at me. Is there a gate just built right in? No. Well, there is, but I'm just going to use my... Just going to squish it here. Where's that? Is that me? Oh, it's not. That's actually something else happening in the background of that song. Never mind. This amp is awesome. Okay, so we got a great first tone. Let's experiment a little bit now. Let's change some tubes around. Right now, this is set to solid state because it's a solid state amp. What if we want to get a little goosey? Let's goose this to a KT88 and see what we got. Oh, yeah, I just shaved a little of the top end off, but I also got a little bit punchier there. Wow, that sounds pretty freaking good. So this is the fun things you can do with this. You can change things around. You can also go with a 6L6. Give it more of that rectifier fucking vibe. Go with the Brit style. Or in my opinion, my favorite tube is the ever reliable KT88. Sort of the versatile, takes a little bit of everything, all the different great parts. You can also change the, as mentioned, change the preamp section as well. Why not? Go back to silicone. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Last night I was listening to Metallica. So I was listening to Hardwired. It makes me think about those dudes, those fucking extra macho dudes that need to call out Lars Ulrich at every turn for being a bad drummer. Meanwhile, the guy is 60 plus years old playing songs like Hardwired. If you've never heard Hardwired, I'm not going to play it on here because it might just, I don't know, Metallica might be one of those bands where I'll get nuked for playing on here and I'll get a strike or something. But you know the song, if you've never heard Hardwired. Now, I want you to compare, like, we are the first generation. We are the first generation that's getting to watch the very first metal bands get old. The very first really fast bands are getting old. Slayer is getting old. Metallica is getting old. Megadeth is getting old. Although, in Megadeth's case, he just sort of hacks the system by just employing, this like the endless stream of absolute studs. But point being is, a lot of these drummers, when we start thinking of, like, sure, there's these, the younger generation, it's making fun of these older drummers, saying, well, they're not as technical and they can't play blast beats and everything else. They don't see what we saw in those days. They didn't see that jump in skill in those days. These guys were some of the best drummers in out there. Lars Ulrich's never been a great drummer, but he's always been serviceable. He stays in time, he plays weird things and stuff that other drummers don't think of doing. He's got, stylistically, he's kind of interesting. Now, that being said, the guy is still playing songs that, like, what's Hardwired? 210, 220 BPM? And he's 60 plus years old. So if you're ever out there and you see one of those assholes that's just like, yeah, the worst drummer in the world is Lars Ulrich. Is it though? Is it? Then it also leads me to think, guys, it's just food for thought for the comments before we move on. Think about what's going to happen to the current bands. Are any of these bands that we're hearing, like examples like Lorna Shore or just any of those bands that's on that current level? Yeah, think of any of those bands and think of any of those drummers that are doing extreme things. Are those guys going to be doing that shit at 60? I mean, I'm seeing Sandoval playing the Morbid Angel stuff, and that stuff is not, he's still blasting, and he's in his like 50s, maybe even close to 60. He's still blasting. I'm not saying it's not possible, but are these bands still, like these younger bands that are on the up and comings, be ready for those bands to get old as well. Will they have the longevity? Will they last will their careers be 40-year careers? You know what I mean? Interesting food for thought on that. Please do dive into it in the comments. Now, where were we? We're talking about the awesome fun internal things that you can do with this. You can also turn down the voltage and the variable. Would this be like a variac then? Or is this just not 100% sure. And anyway, how's it going, Brain Dead? Happy Friday to everyone. All right, so we're going to move along from amp-wise, but I just wanted to showcase that portion of it because it's pretty neat that this is a solid-state amp in real life, and you can make it into a not solid state. And you can. That's the fun thing about plugin land, is these are things that you cannot do in the analog world. If you're out there and you're like, man, I would love to hear what a Randall T2 sounds like with a KT88 power section, good fucking luck. The only way you're going to find out is in plugin land. It's very likely that's the only way you're going to be able to find out. And you can do that with almost any amp. There's really good ways to turn off power sections of a lot of plugins where you can try them with different tube types, and there's all sorts of things you can do, ways to find out how certain things might sound, and also work on your own signature tones to make them unique. All right, so we're going to move along. I want to use these Randall Lynch box. Now, Eddie, even in the comments, wants to explain exactly what the Lynch box was. If I'm not mistaken, it was just essentially a powered amp, and that you could put different modules in, if I'm not mistaken. And there was a few different Randall amps that had that feature of these like modules you could buy and just take the preamps right out, unscrew them, take them out, put the other one in, and away you went with a completely different sounding amp. And you could do that to different, and you had options of putting X amount in the same amp. I think there was another one they made. Eddie knows more about these amps than I do. I'm going to check out the Randall Lynch box, Mr. Scary. And do I even chance it? I can't remember it now. Just give me a few minutes to remember that. Anyways, this is, ooh, gosh, that's tough to see. Is that not tough to see? That's tough to see for me. It was supposed to be based on the Triple X, the Lynch box. The Randall RM series was basically Synergy's dad. Okay. I don't know, man. I kind of wouldn't mind. I kind of wouldn't mind having a Lynch box and like all the modules. I think that'd be kind of fun to kind of play around with, but that sounds terrific. I know I like scooping, but some people don't. I like mids too, though. Don't worry. Sounds good too. I like this. It's fun. The guy from Disturbed. I guess you could call them as well. Disturbed. Wow, we got 20 people in here right now? Jeebus. Guys, if you're in the comments, do say hello. I would appreciate you. If you want, say hi. We're always here. My name is Tyler. Welcome to the Amp Sim Show. What are we doing today? We're going over overlouds. We often get into sidebar conversations, but the point of today's stream is to go through at least the basics, maybe some of the presets. We're probably going to go through that as well, just to find some fun things to do after just, kind of showing you guys around what can be done here. In this case, we have EL34s. Now, what if I want to go to the KTs again? Let's try that. And then 3 people left. Fuck this guy. I also want to announce our 100th episode contest. We're going to have our episode 100 coming up pretty soon. And in that 100th episode will be a giveaway for a Hercules wall mount stand and three Nembrini audio plugins. And the winner will get their plugin of choice. There will be 3 plugins available and a Hercules wall mount guitar stand. And why is it why? That's a strange thing to give away. It sounds like he's just giving away something that he bought and didn't work out. Yes, that's in fact exactly what I did. It didn't really work for where I was putting things, and it basically did not get used. It got used for about a day-ish. It sat on the wall and didn't do anything. And it got put back in the box. A few days. All right, so that's what we're giving away. And it'll be fun. and I will cover postage on that. In the past, I've actually been quite terrible at shipping out certain things. But I will get this out to you. I promise you. And if you're somewhere in the world that's going to cost an arm and a leg, we'll work it out. Don't worry. Free is free. Chacho. His name is Chacho. Chacho. I didn't see Chacho come in. Ah, there we go. How's it going, dude? Kyle, how's it going, man? How are you? Absencios. How are you? Nice to see you. Wow. Everybody just chiming in. This is amazing. Thank you so much. Friday, people just want to hang out and listen to some crap. I'm totally down. All right, so we're just hanging out, checking out some of my favorite amps, making sure they all still sound great, and they look great. They all look terrific. This looks awesome, and I'm excited to go through some more. So let's do that right now. And I'm going to replace it. If you guys have anything in here you'd like me to check out, let me know. Thank you so much to Overloud for the support from over the years. All of the people that work over there that I've dealt with have all been wonderful. Have been wonderful over the years. I have no complaints whatsoever, and they've always, from day one that I reached out to them and said, I'm doing this thing called Honest Amps and Reviews. Can you guys not do this, please? Do you have to do this right now? All right, fantastic. We have cats battling over a bed behind me. Awesome. Anyways, from day one, they've always been really, really nice to me, and I really appreciate it. So thank you so much to Overloud. Great people. Now, this is one of the newer upgrade. And we're going to check this out at some point here. I'm going to stick with the same cab because it sounds pretty fucking awesome. And we're going to just relax on a few things here. This Made in Rock pack, you might want to go and check it out because this amp has, oh geez Louise, this amp has there's something behind this amp that it's a special amp. It's been used, it's been used in a, jeez, TH-U Made in Rock. Here we go. I don't want to misquote. So this is the pack. And you get, let's go through this real quick. Okay, so you get the Made in Rock BSAB. This is, if I'm not mistaken, this is a Laney supergroup. We have okay, hang on, here we go. This 2 channels, hold on, that's which belong to Led Zeppelin. Here we go. So this is the JMP50 and its matched cabinet, which belonged to the Led Zeppelin. Oh, to Led Zeppelin. All right, the Led Zeppelin. We'll call it the Led Zeppelin. This amp belonged to Oasis, if I'm not mistaken. This is an AC30 that had something painted on it. I don't know if it came like that. What's the story with this amp? I don't really know a whole lot about it. Haven't really used it. Looking forward to it at some point. This old JUP 320. This is an old school, super old school bass amp. Also very, very well known to be used in like stoner rock, doom, all kinds of things. So we're going to get onto that. Next Doom 2, maybe we should definitely, we're going to have to pull out the supergroup. But I'll get onto the supergroup today. If there's anything that you guys would really like to hear or see me test out, that's totally fine. I'm going to leave this open in the bottom here just in case. And we're going to continue. And I'm going to turn off the Tube Screamer. Little out. I'm having a great day today, for the most part. Did a bunch of things. I had to do some, as mentioned, guys, I do a lot of disc golfing, and I currently working, as you guys have heard me talk about in the past, currently working with a local conservation area to install disc golf on the property. We cannot wait to get at it in the spring, but the more it snows, the longer we're going to be waiting for that. So, thief, sweetie, there's a thief. And he's playing it cool though. Wow, that sounds good. That was the summer of 69. Ha, 69, dude. All right, what do we got in the comments? Elmira's, how are you? Have I lost the chat? No. How much for the Ibanez? Sorry, my bad. Sometimes I look back and I just... Hello, I'm a beautiful human. Wow, that's very nice of you. Is it the chops today? Hello, or do you mean you beautiful humans? I mean, like everyone. Or are you just speaking to me on my own? I mean, well. Just kidding. All right, 20 folks in here. Hi, how are you? Yeah, check out the useful black metal sounds. How much for the Ibanez? Meaning you want to buy it from me, or how much did I pay for this Ibanez? I bought it from a local pawn shop that had it sitting there for a really long time. And this is why I always tell people, always go to your local guitar stores, so your pawn shops, used music stores, and keep an eye specifically on how long instruments have been in the store. If it's a brand new music store, stuff can sit there for years and those dudes will not budge an inch. But if it's in a pawn shop or a used store, keep an eye on how long things have been there. They will also tend to move things around and even put things in the back into like a more of a, so they can bring stuff out front and showcase stuff that's maybe not been there for a long time, newer stuff, and that they've gotten in. And if you ask to, you'll have to ask to see it. So this guitar, for example, they took it off the wall and put it into the back and put it into a case. So I didn't see it there anymore. And I was like, hey, did that Iceman sell? And the guy's like, no, we just put it in the back for a bit to put some new stock on the walls. Oh, cool. I just was wondering because it's pretty awesome and it just sticks with me once in a while. And then you come back in again and again and again. Eventually, if it stays there a long time, you will get it for a song and a dance. Oftentimes, you can also see sometimes on the back of the headstock, they'll put a little sticker on. Actually, I've seen it more than once where they will actually put a little sticker and they'll put a number without a dollar sign on the back as to how much they paid for that instrument, how much they paid for it. So then you can work with that as well. That doesn't happen as much anymore, though. Anyways, for this, I think I paid, I don't know, like 600 or so Canadian for it. Maybe 650. This is a Paul Stanley model. It's made in China, so it's not like the higher end, but it looks nice, doesn't it? After I took all the mirrored stuff off it. I know if that's a bit much on the verb now that I'm doing snappier stuff, so allow me to open that for a sec. And use this smaller room again here. That's better. I wanted to put, last night I had this feeling for a bigger room sound. Wow, this sounds good. This is really good. This is some of the newest stuff. Some of these amps, like in Amplitube and like in a number of other mega suites / full suites, whatever you'd like to call them, the big boys with lots of gear. Some of these have what we call legacy products. And that is older modeling that's been brought forward and been kind of matched with their newer power amp modeling. Usually that's sort of how things might go in a situation like this. There might be one power amp that is just powering a bunch of preamps and just switching tube types accordingly. That does happen more than you might think. But in the case of older legacy products, when they get brought ahead, they will do things to make them sound a bit better. But at some point that does kind of max out to where you can kind of start to hear a divide between the newer and older products. In this case with TH-U, it's really not as present of a thing. But in the case of Amplitude, we were just chilling with that the other day. And yeah, there are definitely some legacy products that Amplitude keeps pushing over that I think at this point it's time to just put them night, or completely overhaul that amp. I mean, then you might alienate a customer or two because they might, oh, that's my favorite amp, but really, you guys have been there. A lot of you guys have seen it. And it's just sort of one of those things that happens when with a lot of products that do those updates where they bring things along from a previous version. Guys, we've all seen it. And another company that's been really good to avoid that is Line 6. All of those components always sound good in there. And in TH-U here, I'm going to be honest, like these guys have always made sure that everything in here sounds at least pretty good. There's nothing in here that I think sounds really, really bad or bad at all. But that's all in the ear of the beholder. So you guys jump in here and let me know what you guys think. Also, what do you guys think about a $30 upgrade just for graphics? Or is it just graphics? Is it really? Or is it also workflow and other things that might have brought some different, efficiencies in? You never know. Random, you are given a free compressor. That's cool. Jumped on as soon as I seen it. I was back. I was taking a shower. Nice. That's lots of information for me. I'm kidding. Relax. That one sounds pretty good. Fucking love me a good Plexi, man. I had an Iceman to scratch the Explorer itch, but it sold it. I might get... I've always got itches for different instruments. I just do. But I think at this point, my collection is all pretty thorough. Would I like more or less of things? The only thing I don't have that I would love is a Stealth or an Iron Bird, an old BC Rich. That's the only thing I think my collection is lacking, but they just don't pop up that often locally. I would settle for a Warlock if I saw it, but I never see them. And when I do see them, I did have one locally pop up. And it was really nice. It was a Warlock, and it had the kind of a bit of a different headstock that I hadn't really seen on many Warlocks either. So, but it was, of course, the hidden gems always come up when you're really thin on the funds, especially for something as frivolous as another guitar. I mean, yeah, I'm not going to put myself in the spot ever again for an instrument. I just can't. It's such a bad feeling. It's a great feeling for about 2 seconds, and you're like, geez, what have I done? So, no. Unless something comes up and I am in the mood and completely able to grab something, that would be terrific. I only use the rig player in TH-U for some reason. Might mess around and build some patches from scratch tomorrow. Here's another idea, too. There's a billion presets in here. A billion. I would also surf the presets and then just start editing them. And if you find something you really like, find out what it is about that preset you really like. Is it the cabinet? Is it the mics? Is it the amp? Is it the pedals? Is it that these multi-layers? Like if you look at some of these, they get long and elaborate stereo chains of stuff, and then just figure out what you like about it, and then use that as a template to build. They also have this one that I'm in right now, called Building Blocks Dirt. There's also Building Blocks Clean. And you would think there is a Building Blocks Base, but there is not at this point. But I'm going to go into Maiden Rock. I've already showed you guys like a bunch of my favorite amps. Let me have a quick look before we go off this. Simplistic signal chain. Let's see if the 5150 sounds good. This is always a telltale. I knew that was going to be loud. I just knew it. Bring that back. Oh, relax. Oh man, that's a bit annoying. Sounds pretty decent. There's nothing wrong with it by any means. It's not the strongest 5150 I've ever heard, but Cool thing is, if you like a 5150, you can also go in here and play around with different tube tones. Make yourself a Stealth 34. Make yourself an EVH KT88 that doesn't exist, but gosh, they should make one because that would be fun, wouldn't it? The KT88 is a little darker in TH-U than I would like it to be, but you can't be complaining about everything. So let's keep going. I would like to, you know what I'm going to do? We're going to go through with some presets here. Just for fun, I'd like to go to the Maiden Rock and we'll go, oh, Paranoid Riff. What's this all about? They give me, oh, just a straight up. Nice. Wouldn't it be... It's also a very small amount of input. If I'm not mistaken, is that one played on the neck or the bridge though? The amp was actually in there. Yeah, it's just it's in that new Maiden Rock pack, and this is the first time I've had to go with this, and it's pretty cool. Gain 1. I don't know a lot about the supergroup, admittedly. Although I get the feeling that there's a chance I could be involved with a project that might involve one soon, which so I'm gonna have to really. But I have this good thing. I have we have actually a community member here that's actually going to help me through a certain project that may or may not involve a supergroup. So thanks to that member, he knows who he is. That's a fun sound. I used this guitar today because I wasn't intending on going after all metal. I was just intending to go after like just some fun tones and just go through the presets. As I know, there are some more presets. There was also a metal pack that they gave me, the Max Asmernoff pack, and I don't know, I don't quite know who he is. That's not me being ignorant. I just don't know who Max Asmernoff is. But we'll get there. Let's see it. What else do we got here? It's a really angry, this is an angry, very bright, angry amp. Anything is better than... Oh, my gosh. Don't mention that. No, we don't say his name. TH-U... Okay, here's the way I would... A really good analogy. Imagine TH-U is Eddie Hall. If you don't know who Eddie Hall is, look up Eddie Hall. Just so you can imagine if we're going to compare these two products. TH-U... imagine TH-U is Eddie Hall, and imagine positive grid bias effects. Imagine that is Sheldon from The Big Bang Theory, and imagine those two are about to have a fight. Now imagine those two are about to have a go and have a real good scrap, and there you have it. There's the analogy I'm going to work with. So that's as much as I can tell you. And you might be thinking, but could so many people be wrong? Well, when people are paid to say something is awesome, occasionally people like myself even will buy it thinking it's awesome. And it might not be. So got to be careful with that. So the Marty Friedman official pack, I think I have this. I'm pretty sure that they gave this to me. Did they give this to me? They did give this to me. Oh, no, they didn't. Did they? No, I have to demo it. Do I have to demo it? Do I have it or not have it? Yeah, no, I don't have this pack. So I'm going to have to get the pack from the guy. I tried it. I tried this out. I demoed it before asking them. I forgot to ask them for it. Yeah. Yeah. Do I get it? Ah, oh boy. We've got all kinds of stuff here. 80s. We've got a bunch of, oh man, I don't necessarily, okay, so I wasn't aware that, that's neat. Every time you buy a rig pack, they give you like a bunch of presets that involve other components. That's neat. Thank you. Appreciate that. That's really neat. Usually with something like that, you've got to build your own chains around it. But in this case, they've done a good job. Nice. Thank you for that. That's very handy. So I'm just looking around today, and I was looking for that Max. Where is it? All metal gears. This is it. Is this it? Hold on, guys. Yes, this is it. In fact, let's test this out together and see what we can get out of this. I will test them as is. This one is a bit strange. It's got the cab sim built right in, and there's no ability to change the tubes or not, but... It does not sound bad, though, does it? No, I can't do that. Guitar rig is still better than Bias Effects. I don't want to do that. I really don't want to do any content whatsoever with something that's bad just to tell people, this is bad. All that is doing, all you're doing with shit like that is milking the algorithm to get people scrapping in the comments, calling you an asshole, and you don't even pay attention to it. And everybody else is scrapping in the comments about stuff, and you're like, give me the money. I don't want to do that. I want to make positive content. There's only one developer that I like to drag through the mud once in a while, and that's Positive Grid. And even then, I'm starting to get bored with it. It's not even that fun anymore. It's super fun, actually. When they improve, if they improve, I will eat my words. But until that time comes, we're just gonna focus on awesome stuff like Overloud TH-U. Let's get some more in the EQ here. It's pretty cool, actually. What's the deal with this? Let's go look. Let's go look. They gave me this pack and they said, hey, check this out kind of thing. Artists, and guitar and bass. By the way, if you've never been to Overloud, they've got all kinds of stuff, guys. It's like the Gem Studio plugins are legit. The spring, all this, the various reverbs, compressors, all kinds of stuff. They are not just a guitar and bass product company. Now, the Max Ostro pack. I don't know much about that dude, apart from that he's really, really, really good at guitar. I don't know anything about him. I don't know. Do you guys know anything about Max? We must have some fans of Max Ostro in the house. Where is this? Oh, here we go. So this is a $49 pack. And what do we got? Okay. 4 amps for all metal styles. German Metal Machine, ENG 100, the Modern Metal Beast, and the EPI 100. I don't know a lot about things here, but there's also some effects and some other things included. And they do mobile versions now. That's pretty cool. You can just get TH-U, get it for just $1. Wow. Interesting. Wow. So I hope everybody's having a good day. I don't think Positive Grid ever went right. No, they didn't. Here's where you go wrong. Oh, guys, no. Nope. All I'm saying is a lot of people said it was cool and took money to say it was cool, even though maybe I'm just going to loosely suggest that they didn't think it was that cool. But that was a long, long time ago. And I'm over it now. It's now they're just doing it's the shit in a box. Buy my shit in a box now. They're just doing, that's all they're doing, putting the shit in the box now. But it is what it is, because there are enough companies now that I think most people that, and by the way, we're not ragging on anybody that uses Positive Grid. If you use it or if you buy it, we're not ragging on you, because I once upon a time bought it and then kind of realized quickly it wasn't really what I thought it was. And we're going to leave it there. I'm just saying that I think a lot of Positive Grid folks, when they realize what else is, they get outside that box and they start, that might have been their gateway plugin. That's okay, because more the merrier. Amplitude was a lot of people's gateway plugin before that. Revalver, when it was okay and decent, was a great gateway plugin. Many gateway plugins out there, and then people just grow beyond it. And a lot of Positive Grid fans got started, and then they heard things like Neural DSP, STL tones and such, and they downloaded those unrestricted free trials. They tried it and realized, holy shit, you don't notice that it doesn't sound the best when it's the first thing you use. You're like, wow, this is fun. And then you get outside and you're like, whoa, boy, what's going on out there? And then you figure it out. And then, yeah, of course, things move forward. So, but again, no disrespect to anybody that's using. If I know people that still use it and they swear by it and they say, "Nah, man, I still like it." And I'm like, all right, whatever. I don't. And we can agree to disagree. This is a lot better than it was. I didn't really give it a fair shake. So what they got going on, they've got a parametric EQ, and they've got a multi-band compressor in the back, and along with the amp. And let's try out these various cabs, if you guys don't mind. 1 is off. 2 is... Whoa, that sounds good. I just wrote the new Arch Enemy song, King of the Castle. Just kidding. It's almost, man, some of the new stuff. What do you guys think of the new Arch Enemy? I kind of wonder why Michael Ammett, is Michael Ammett in the band, right? It's not Michael Ammett. Which Ammett's still in the band? It was both Ammetts at one point, and they were in Carcass, and then, kind of wonder why that guy doesn't have a plug-in by now. It seems like something exactly the kind of thing he might get behind. And I can't say it would sound bad either. Because that guy, you can say what you want about the Ammett and his playing, and playing more solos than Jeff Loomis on all of those albums, just egregiously playing on purpose more solos than Jeff Loomis, which was very strange. Very strange. But still, what's your theory on what his plugin might be like? It would probably have some pretty crazy tones. Say what you like about his playing and that scenario, but the tones in that band have always been crushing tone in that band, no matter which era. Whether it was the Johan era, the Angela era, or the new era. Yeah, they did. I mean, it's poppy metal, sure, but there is a world and there's a need for poppy metal. I've got all kinds of time for poppy metal. I don't mind it at all. I love having some pop in things. It doesn't. Oh, hold on, guys. It doesn't bother me in the slightest bit. But that being said, I just thought that I'm not going to make a comment on the songwriting, because I mean, myself, you're always going to get that person's like, so what could you do? Nothing really, not as good as that. But yeah, they did replace Loomis with a guy, a dude. I looked up his name and everything, and then it's gone. Think he's a Jackson guy? Hold on. The one thing I like about TH-U is the whole chain can be stereo. Yep. I'm so out of the loop with Arch Enemy. I haven't messed with them since Angela left. You know what? I like what they did though when she left. She left and she kept a job with the band, and she's still managing the band. And the let's be honest. I mean, the singer choice was fucking perfect. Fucking perfect. And it was the perfect choice. Then they got Loomis, and it was like they had this goddamn super band. The drummer's fantastic. The bass player's very solid. She's a fantastic singer. She obviously looks the part, and you know, all brings in a different vibe of attention for the band, maybe, but that they didn't have back in the Johan days. But that being said, I think that they made some really good decisions. Unfortunately, the songwriting was just there's a lot of songwriting I thought was a bit vanilla is all. Not bad, and I don't think vanilla's not bad either. It was just, I don't know, it just lacked. You know that one song where it's just like, geez, what song is that? I like the good guy. The thing is, I hated the fact that they were gonna get her in the band and not let her use her clean singing ability at all, which is super bananas because she's got a terrific clean voice. But now they started to come around on it. They're like, well, maybe it could get us some more money and play and everything else. And I like that they let her do that, actually, because she's got a really terrific voice, and she's not just a one-dimensional screamer. Like, hate to say it, Angela was kind of one-dimensional, whereas she is not. So, yeah, I like that they're just kind of letting her branch out and use more of her range. I think that's terrific. I'd be almost like, I mean, not letting her sing clean would be like, oh, I don't know, getting one of the greatest guitar players in the entire history of the instrument and having arguably your rhythm guitar player play more of the solos. I mean, that kind of decision often gets made. I'm just kidding, guys. Calm down. All right, lead. Let's try a tiny bit of this lead stuff here. What do we got here? We've got a compressor. We've got, wow, wonderful. Wow, look at all these. He just keeps going and going and this whole like chain business though, like I see it up here and everything, and you can kind of wait. If I click on that, okay, it just takes me right where I want to be. Fantastic. So no big deal. Let's see what we got. Really washed and delayed, but not terribly. A few too many repeats for my personal taste. We're going to go back. I don't really want to mess with both these. Are they linked? Are they linked? Links. Yeah, it's fine. Oh, I see what they're doing. Yeah. We're going to keep going. Interesting in the headphones there. It's a lot of A lot of feel on the delay there, but it's not bad. Not by any means. So we're just kind of going through some of these. I wanted to go through the cabs before we got off this particular amp, though. What do you guys think of the Max, or the Asmernov pack at this point? I think the tones are pretty solid. I didn't like them at first because I think I went about it the wrong way, and I just started using the amps with a bit of a different thing with the cab sim off, and then I'm trying it now, and man, this is pretty fantastic. Kind of bums me out that there isn't the ability to change the tube in here, but I mean, I'm not going to let it ruin my day by any means. Let's try IR3, IR4. I know a few people in the stream that just said, stop right there, you found the one. I know a few of you probably just said that. And if the Scoopsy guys. Let's turn that up a bit. This is a really good sounding amp. I like this one a lot. All right, let's get to the chat here for a sec, guys. Ghost Fixture. Oh, yeah. Wow, nice. Welcome. I haven't seen you before. I remember Alyssa before she was... Yeah, the Agonist. Canadian band. Yeah, Canadian band. And they were pretty popular. That's about all I can tell you. They were a Canadian band and they were pretty popular. I'm not going to go ahead and say they're a bad band by any means, because they've got some fantastic players and they're a metal band from this country, and I truthfully thought they were a pretty fun band. But that being said, when Arch Enemy wants to redo their whole image for you and bring in an ungodly guitar player and offers you all the stuff in the world, obviously that's what you're going to make that move. That's a great career move, and she made the move that she needed to make, which was great. Congratulations to her, because now she's doing it, right? I mean, that's great. It would have been a waste. It would have been kind of a waste of her talent to keep her in a band that's mostly touring, you know, C-level venues in A-level markets or C-level markets in general. I don't know how to better explain it, guys. All right, we're going to listen to some more of the stream. Earlier, we're doing a little bit of hinting. We're doing a little bit of hinting at a few things, guys, and I'm going to take a quick break. And we're going to be on for a while here today. So thank you for giving me your Friday evening, Friday night, Friday, anything. I'm going to come back potentially with a different guitar, although this one seems to be behaving itself now. So maybe I won't upset the herd, and, you know, I won't upset the tone, as this is a pretty bright pickup and I kind of like what it's doing right now. So maybe we'll just stick with it. The tone is fine. It's staying in tune. Shh, don't say anything. Fuck it up. Knock on wood. All right. So I'll be back 2-3 minutes, and we'll see what we can do. If you have any please do head over right now to the TH-U, or sorry, the Overloud website. And if there is something there that you'd really like me to, one of the amps that you'd like me to use when I get back, please do let me know. If there's something there like, wow, shit, that sounds interesting. 100% willing to show it off. So let me know. Once again, thanks to Overloud for hooking me up and making sure that things sound great. Gonna do another stream with simply a clean, the aspect will be clean guitar. That's what we're gonna be looking at, clean and edge of breakup stuff. I'll be pulling out a Telecaster probably tomorrow sometime, maybe even in the morning. Go after some little bit more morning tones, a little bit more dad rock, maybe old school stuff, maybe get some funk happening from this funk. There's a funk expansion. I'm kind of excited. How about you guys? So be here, and in the meantime, head over to Overloud and let me know if there's anything in particular inside here that you'd like me to check out, and I'll be back in just a bit. Thanks so much for being here. It's great for a Friday, guys. Thanks. Can't get enough of this song. Call of the Void. Pardon me. Call of the Void by Mutoid Man. Members of Cave In, Converge, other bands. I really enjoy them. I really, really like this song a lot. And the rest of the album has been freaking fun to listen to. I've been listening to it like song by song while we're cooking. And in the kitchen. Pick. Okay, do I even own something with single coils? Bro. I'll let you... Well, actually, one of them needs a little bit of work. Because I've got 2 Telecasters. I've got 2 Telecasters. I've got what I call my Telebird. And they're all just only single coils. I also have a Strat that sort of goes between having a single humbucker and 3 single coils. I'm currently, it's being used as a sleeper Strat. It's got like it's tuned to the low. And I don't know, I don't really have a huge need for anything else. I've also got one guitar that I'm going to play in the morning though. That is humbuckers, but they're both humbuckers that are not like metal or high output or anything like that. It's a PAF Pro, and there's a humbucker from Help. I'm going to use that for the first part of the stream tomorrow, and it's my favorite guitar for rock tones. It really is one of my all-out favorite guitar for rock tones. So we're going to go back to testing some of this stuff out. Hold on. Just going to catch up here, guys. Wow. You guys are moving fucking quick today, boys. Holy shit. Wow. You guys are moving fast today. I got to catch up. Oh my God. Can we not? Well, I keep forgetting. Andy James is the in 5-finger. Does it hurt anybody else on the inside to simply call them 5-finger death punch without changing any of the words to more fun words? Does it hurt anybody inside to just call them the regular band name? Because it hurts me inside to say that band name just plain out. I want to say something else, but I want to call them like, 5-finger dink punch. Or you guys give me your best ones in the comments, please. Give me your absolute best 5-finger death punch reorder of words using FFDP, please. Just for fun. Everybody give me one. And there's no offenses meant. Relax. We all love Andy James. The rest of the guy. Also, Jason Hook. Nothing wrong with Jason Hook either. Canadian session player, nothing wrong with that, dude. I think sometimes the singer in your band can really turn people the wrong way. And I mean, it's not even necessarily their music. Are there worse bands on the planet than 5-Finger Death Punch? Yes. So many worse bands in the world than that band. Like if someone told me you can listen to either 5-Finger Death, you have to pick one band to listen to for a month. You're going to pick 5-Finger Death Punch or fucking Nicki Minaj. I'm going to go, yeah, just give me all of that. Sign me up, brother. Yeah. Sign me up. Pump the serious octane directly to my veins. I am ready for it. Give it to me. Ah! That's what I'm at. The real Chacho. I remember when they came out, it was like a tap out shirt set to music. Wah pedals and plugins are cool with automation, I guess, but where the hell do I plug in an expression pedal in my interface? I want to know too. Can somebody please invent a really easy peasy way to do this? Why is this not a thing? Can we get someone on this? We know people. Can we get somebody on this? Can somebody out there please create or just tell me an easy way that I can just throw an expression pedal up front and have it just be? That's what I need this. I need this in my heart. I need that. Can you imagine? Wah pedals are fun as shit, but not as much for that as I am for like whammy pedals. Oh my Lanta. I wanted to buy Digitech whammy for just in front of the interface, which is something I just don't do. I really just want, I want to do, I just didn't, I don't, didn't want to do it that way. Switching, guys, we're switching. All right. In any event, hopefully you guys are having an amazing Friday. I'm having a great Friday today. It's been fantastic. I didn't have to do much via work. We're going to go, let's go Italian for a second here. Italian developer, we got to throw in a little bit. I should have started with an Italian song. Go! I'm just catching up here, guys. They probably did roundhouses in the garage, Step Brothers style. I am whelmed with this one. Whelmed with what? This TH-U or this amp? So I'm just catching up, guys. Just neutrally whelmed. I wouldn't say that's a bad thing. Hold on, guys. Just making sure. Yes, I have something with single coils. Okay, I got to there. Good, perfect. If you guys have never heard a band called Talco and you're interested at all in ska or like really just strange punk rock, kind of skate punk mixed with a lot of other things, right up your alley. This doesn't sound bad to me. You're not feeling this one, Omiris? Really? It doesn't sound bad at all. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I don't hate it at all. I'm quite enjoying this. So yeah, the Max Asmanoff pack. I'm glad that we had more of a time to get better acquainted. We're gonna go with a couple of the other presets inside here and just kind of go with what we're feeling. It's like when someone puts in a stereo effect on something and you have headphones on. Oof. Oofster. Okay. Chugster. I see what they're doing here. I see what they're doing. All right. I'm assuming it's the same 8 IRs. Ooh, I don't like that one. Ah. Oh, this amp is not giving me the same feels. Nope. This amp is not giving me the same feels as the other one. Nope. Shenane. Not saying it's bad. I'm saying it's not for me. You guys can be the judge of what's for you, but this one is... I'm not as much for me. Although I do see that they have it EQ'd a bit of a different way. So what do we say about giving this amp another shot here? I know this preset. I like everything about this preset. So why don't I just go down here, or back up here rather, and then just give this another shot the way I probably should to make sure that I'm being thorough. Is the Max Asmanoff in here? Where are you? Ah, here you are. So I just put that there. And we remove you. You go away. All right, let's see what we got here now. I just don't know if I'm going to be destined to be in love with this amp or not. No, I just don't think this amp is meant for me. So again, maybe it's for you, but it's not for me. And that's okay. We're going to keep going, and then we're going to go to maybe a few other things. The Modern Metal Beast. This looks to be like, to me, they're presenting it as a modified 5150. Why does it sound so different? Why does it... Okay, so there's... Okay, that's interesting. Let's crank some of this. It almost sounds like there is an HM2. It did for a second sound like there was a bit of an HM2 at play in there somewhere, but we seem to have rid ourselves of that. By the way, if you were, we were talking about the Iceman earlier, and I always like to note the pickups in it. One of my favorite pickups ever made, the Bill Lawrence USA L500XL. And this is a Gibson Classic 57, although I'm not necessarily in love with this one. I realize it's kind of a bit more of a pricey pickup, and it kind of helps this guitar do a few additional things, but I don't know that I'm in love with it. But then again, it's kind of made a nice little pairing here. So this guitar just needs some new tuners at this point. I think I'm going to go on payday with Geiker and see if I can find something that's maybe even with a smaller peg as well, and just do it that way. Something inside me told me to just black everything out and change the bridge as well and change the tuners, but I kind of really like this bridge, so I'm just gonna leave it alone and change to another silver tuner. Five Pudos fruit punch. Yeah, man, whammies do fucking rule. All whammies, whammy bars. What? I don't know about whammy bars. I'm more of a blocked Floyd kind of guy. I love the action. I love the feel of a Floyd. I love the fine tuning. Oh, but I don't like when they move. I need them just to stay where you are. But I do like having that tremolo so that you can, if you want, occasionally you can just undo the little dial in the tremolo and just flip the bar around and do a few different things with it. I'm lying. I can't do a goddamn thing with a whammy bar except for a nice little harmonic dive bomb. Eddie's the guy for that. But I wish I could do more things with a whammy bar. I just, having had Floyd's in a lot of guitars, I just don't like tuning them. The tuning instability is just bananas. Even after you get it right, it takes a real patient and caring soul to get that right. And I'm not that patient or caring soul when it comes to a guitar. I'm just not. I'm not a fan of Gibson pickups, period, but I was recommended this pickup by a friend who's in a doom circle saying, if you want to, I said, what would pair nice with the L500XL? And he's like, what about a Gibson Classic 57? And I put it in here and it actually sounds pretty good. It all sounds pretty good to me. All right, let's get away from this metal pack. Let's get into something else. Elmyrus says he likes the rig pack. Do you build chains with the rig pack, or do you do you use it with an additional cab? I like to put a screamer out front. Let's see if we can't go back in. But before we do that, I want to note that they actually have a Bugera in here. That's kind of weird to see a copy amp inside of a plugin. It's very strange to me when I saw this pop up. I'm like, I'm sorry, you have a what in there? And you guys be the judge. Does it sound good or not good? Whoa, it sounds loud. It sounds so loud. Oh my God, I just destroyed everyone's ears. Oh my God, sorry. That sounds really good, actually. Hold on. Let's change that. I'm not even going to bother changing the cab. This actually sounds fine as it is for an exploratory thing as we're doing here. Doesn't sound bad, does it? That doesn't sound terrible at all. Gosh. There's no way to change. So some of these, it's nice when they have the ability to screw around with the tubes a little bit. That's always really nice, but not necessarily completely essential. But the Pantera is a nice sounding amp. I'm not sure. The 333, which amp is this one based on? Is this the rectifier? Or is this, no, it's not the rectifier. Which one is this? It's the 5150. There's a few Bugeras, and I know that Bo and Eddie and a few the folks on the team know them pretty well. I just don't. So, vulgar display of flower. Pantera. Okay, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do Panteras. This glove. It's a bit dark, but I think if I was to put a different cab in there, it'd be fine. But so we're gonna go rig player for a minute. Elmira said, if I have any of the packs that you'd recommend, let's go to the screen. If I have any of the packs, where's the rig player? Where are you, rig player? Shouldn't it be right in here? Or can't I see it? Because you're a blind old man. Can't see anything right now. All right, I'm just going to drag it. We're just going to go remove. And you go remove. And we go, I'll leave that in there for now. We're going to drag this back a bit though. And that'll be fine. I don't mind this to clean it up a little bit. And it is involved in the plugin. It's not something I'm adding after the fact. So really there's nothing about it. It's okay. Should be perfectly fine. Now, if I hear the packs I have the BM film projector, ATM Stone, Angel Scream, Fend Edge, Fried BE50, Randall Sanat. Let's go with the Randall Satan. Steel is strongest. Okay. And when I say okay, I think this has already got, a lot of these already have a tube screamer built in. So I'm not going to fuck with this too much. Let's try it without the screamer. That sounds just fine without a screamer. Tune it! Oh, they did hang in there for a bit without needing a tune. I'll give it credit. It hung in there as we've been sitting in the same spot. As I've mentioned, the guitars are really finicky. And when you have to bring them, even when I bring them to like near the humidifier, Kevin, even when I bring them from near the humidifier to over here near the warm radiant heater, the ancient warm radiant heater, things do change. And whether you are like, you don't have to be a tone wood believer or anything like that. You just have to understand the guitars are made of wood, and wood breathes. It shrinks and expands, and so and such. So sometimes when I bring a guitar around the corner from where the stands are, it just gives me, it tries to buck me off for the first few minutes, but then we settle in and we're all right. So. Is it the tuner? Is the nut cut badly? I think it's honestly, it's these tuners. The nut's cut pretty good. I didn't have to do a lot of alteration to this nut from stock, and the files that I use are these wonderful files right here that you can get on. These are they're not super cheap, and they're definitely not the best that you can buy, but these are made in Japan, and I learned my lesson with more than a few, trying to file a few nuts with things that I shouldn't have been using as a file, and just eventually got myself much better nut files, and it eventually things took their course. So. Sorry guys, it's tough to keep up sometimes. I love it though, it's great. 333 is a triple X, neat. And the tri-rec was a Bulgara rectifier. Yeah, okay, thank you. Any pack from BHS. Do I have any of those? Okay, you know what's funny though, because the other day when I was speaking to the nice folks at Overloud, they're like, hey, listen, anything you need to showcase it the right way, the way that you want, let us know, and we're happy to set you up. So I didn't actually said I was probably all good for rig packs because they had given me a lot, and I thought that, hey, I have enough And as my words to them, they're like, do you need any rig packs? I said, you know what, honestly, thank you for the offer, but I think I have more than enough to showcase the capabilities of the rig player. Not really thinking that, hey, there's probably more out there that I could probably check out. So you know what? Let's go and recommend me a few. Recommend me a few that I need to try. I will get in touch with Overloud, and next time out, as soon as they get back to me, I will try them out. I think you can try stuff, you can demo stuff for free as well. So I'll try to do what I can to get all that in order. Okay, so now as far as do I have any of the BHS stuff? Doesn't seem that I do. I have BM, I just have the Overloud branded, and when I started getting the chop tone stuff, this was pretty much all they had at the time. I don't know if there's any of the stuff I have here. I don't think I'd have any of those. BHS. I'm going to have to make sure that we get our hands on some, though. I've never been a big fan of Livio's profile work. I like his IRs to a point. I like his stripped down packs, but I like his main packs are just so ridiculous. They are huge packs with every minute angle and everything that he puts the work in. No disrespect. He puts the work in and deserves to be paid for the work. But I think he just involves way. I've even said it to him. There's just too many files. Do you have something that's more stripped down? And eventually he does have some stripped down packs that I think I would recommend to anyone at any point in time. And I actually kind of forgot about them. And I have to make sure I didn't put them on this machine. So I have to make sure I go get those. There's another company that I know I have some IRs from that I really should showcase because they are really quite nice. Yeah, the StewMac ones are really nice. I just, at that point in time that I purchased it, those files, I had like an Amazon gift card and that had like a lot on it. So I was just like, yeah, I need some, this is finally my time to get some nut files. And those were the top rated ones at the time. Although admittedly, I do need to upgrade. I need to widen my collection of files a bit. I have 8 files currently that range up to 62, but I need to go higher. I need to get some base files and whatnot. But when you start getting into the base files, those are expensive because they're so thick and there's so much metal to them. They are very pricey, and so often when it comes to filing a nut on a base, I'll bring them to my friend, and it's actually ends up being, he doesn't charge me much to do a little bit of filing work on them, and so I don't have to really mess around with them too much. It beats getting a set of files. I should just get a set of files, though. So this is the Randall Satan. Match cab, and we can switch things around if I want. Where's a 412? There's a lot of top end on that. Let's bring that back a bit. Don't want to, not too many, but tri rigs. Interesting. Tri rigs. Okay, cool. Oops, hold on. Let's get rid of this. Tri rigs. Let's see what they got. BHS. And if it's cool, then I'll just ask them if they wouldn't. I just feel bad asking for something that I may not use that much, but I'll just type in BH. Is it BHS? BHS. Here we are. Marty Friedman. Oh, I was going to say Marty Friedman naked. What you talking? The workflow's all right. The workflow's okay. It depends on if you like these types of plugins. All right, so it's the same as it was before, where you can kind of, it depends on, you're going to need a kind of a large screen. There's a few different ways you can make parallel chains if you'd like. You can make, as mentioned, you can also split chains, all sorts of different things by just placing that in the chain. As far as the workflow goes, it's nice. I wouldn't call it as clean, being that they went with graphics. When you go with graphics for each piece, each component, and you want them to look rad, you kind of have to make sure that you're not gonna have the cleanest workflow. Not always anyways, because especially you can kind of scroll. This seems a bit cumbersome if you to kind of drag, but that's not really what I would say is the goal of that. You can just go up here and be like, I want the pedal. I'm at the pedal. At the rig player, I'm at this component, and you can just go the quick way, and that's easy. And if you want to make it, you have more space, and you don't really want the presets there, you can just compact them over there, and you're like, I don't really use presets. No problem. Just push them over. You can also make this smaller. I think you can actually even get rid of these. Yes, you can. Oh, wait, no, never mind. At some point, if I'm not mistaken, I just removed it completely, but hang on a sec. No, I'm not sure if I did that or if I was just imagining it or if it was something completely different. There's so many plugins. In any event, yeah, the workflow is pretty good. If you want these savage big tone, these gigantic chains, it might get a little, but that depends on you, man. There's also I like that they have an undo button. And then you can, the usual, I'm going to separate components. That's pretty nice. I also don't mind just closing the folders like this. And then you do this and then save a preset, like a starter preset. I would do this right here and close them all. So this, I would have it like this, save the preset. I would save a preset with just like it is right here. I feel like this is a nice little chain. If I want, this would be my rig player preset. Start this, and that way over here. Oh, do I want a distortion? Well, okay, let's open that. Then I'm going to close it. I think that makes it nice. Although there are people that like to have that nice glitzy component list, and I think when you're getting used to the plugin, that's definitely a way to go. It's just, people like to just look at them all. Ooh. And even especially if you don't know what a particular piece of gear is called in its analog form, but it just to like by sight, like the purple Soldano, for example, or various other things. Marshalls, for example, you can just be like, oh, that's a Marshall. I can tell. I'm looking at that. That's a Marshall. And you don't have to pay as much attention to the parody names. The parody names in this case, because they do have licensed stuff in here. Randall is licensed. DV Mark licensed, Brunetti licensed, and they have some is it Mark amp bass? Hang on a sec here. Where are the bass products? I think the amps are all in one. Yeah, I'd have to go through them. Is there bass gear in here now, or I actually completely forgot to look. There's the JUP, but I don't know that there's a lot of bass. Oh yeah, okay, right here. They did include some bass. There's a little bit more bass. I think that came late in the last one. So yeah, the workflow is pretty good. I wouldn't say, is it my favorite? No, it's not my favorite. My favorite full suite to work in is Line 6 Helix Native, because it's just really easy and clean. And some people, though, they like to see the gear. I'm not opposed to that. I like seeing the gear as well. But it's not imperative for me. It's not one of those things like, man, I can't see the gear. This fucking sucks. As long as I know, and these guys are also kind of vague about what they're modeling. They're not one of those companies like STL Tones that just, or most of the companies these days, I think have just stopped hiding it and just given the proper trademarks and copyrights where due, and just said this is inspired by this. I think at this point we know nobody's getting sued. It's just companies aren't going to sue you anymore. There's no threat of that. We're not, this 15 years ago, yeah, there were companies that were like, wow, we're going to sue you for that. This is 15 years later, and I don't think there's any chance of that happening anymore unless you're using the actual intellectual property, like the logos and very, very specific aspects. There used to be this belief that diamond plate or tread plate was a copywritten thing by Mesa Boogie, so companies would go and edit their diamond plate / tread plate in their plugins because, oh, we don't want to get sued by the almighty Mesa Boogie. Yeah, go ahead and try that now. You'll get laughed right the fuck out, and you'll end up paying your lawyer for absolutely nothing. So I think that companies, yeah, go with the parody names for sure, but also I don't think they're really upfront enough about what it's been modeled from. There's still that vague, well, it was modeled after an American amp that came out in 1966. Wink, wink. You know, like, hey, just tell us it was a fucking Fender. You know, like, tell us exactly what it is. And I think that is also good for selling feature as well. It's nice to see that kind of stuff. The DV Mark stuff is really interesting. I'll go through that again. I'm probably going to do some more stuff tomorrow. We're going to wrap this up in a couple minutes here. Thank you so much for being here with me. As mentioned, the 100th episode contest is coming up. And in the 100th episode, we will be giving away 3 plugins from Nimbrini Audio and a Hercules guitar stand, wall mount guitar stand. It's a nice guitar stand. It would definitely hold some stuff. I'm telling you that right now. It was unfazed. Basically, I had purchased it because I had hoped there's this one section where I'm shitting you not, the cats will run around the corner and often run into one of the guitars that's there. And oftentimes that guitar would fall off the stand. Well, the Hercules one is one of those ones that has like the thing where you lower it down and it grabs it and just holds it there. And then if you lift it up, it goes, you can take it again. It's really interesting, but it just stuck out a bit too far from the wall. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm not going to go return this to the local guitar store after I installed it on my wall. I have no use for it. Why not make one of you guys who maybe has a perfect use for it? Why not just give it to you, one of you guys? Honestly, why not do that? Now, Myers, do you know the story of Rev Generator in line 6? No, I don't, but I fucking sure want to. I bet you if I asked Ben, he would probably be able to tell me, unless it's some crazy story about... I don't know. You go for it, though. I know I've got some stories about Line 6 Helix Native myself, as Ben, Adrian, one of the guys on that, main guys on that project at Line 6, he's been very open about just emailing back and forth if any questions I have about the platform and the gear inside. He's been super awesome about that. But if it's something that's like under the radar that maybe somebody internal can't talk about, always like those stories. Bring it. What's going on, Bo? I didn't see you jump in. Memory serves, they did a minute. Sorry, you jumped in a while ago too. Shit, I'm so terrible. I'm awful. I did see you say the thing about the tri-rec. I just didn't. Yeah. I'm not sure you'll get black from it. Hold on. I'm curious about my kind of... Seems to figure out... Still curious about my kind of sound, but seems like I have to figure it out myself. You want black metal sounds? Okay, sorry, dude. Like, I wasn't sure if you were actually kidding or not. What do you mean? So... We're making soup in the background, by the way. I make no apologies. We do streams in the middle of a household. We've got a small place. You hear sounds. Get over it. I don't have a pristine room in my house sectioned off from my man caveness. I wish someday, but not today, not tomorrow, or anytime soon. So on we go. When I think black metal, sorry, I'm so sorry, I wasn't sure what you meant. Absent. Here's what I'm thinking about black metal. When it comes to black metal, Satan is a great amp for it. Now, when I think black metal, for me, it's all about the playing style, not so much the setting up the amp. But when I do set up an amp for black metal, I do take some of the low end out. I turn the mids up, depending on, one guitar should have some mids. The other one might be a little more scooped. The presence, you just have to make sure not to get carried away. We also have to discuss what type of black metal are we talking about? Are we talking about symphonic black metal? Are we talking about, what kind of black metal? Are we talking about old school? Are we talking about recording this in the forest inside a metal trash can that's got a plastic fucking lid? What are we doing? You let me know what we're on about here, and I'm in. Okay, so you want some black metal? Let's go. It's not terrible. If you're curious, I also have a black metal album that I recorded at home. You want to hear great leads on black metal? Make sure you use an HM2. for all of your leads, use an HM2 with a bunch of verb on it and a little delay, like a slapback delay. Ooh, that will give you some tasty jams that'll definitely cut through the already middle-rific tones that you're working on. Give us soup. No, man, honestly, absolutely, please. If you, I misunderstood what you meant. If you guys ever want to hear something, I am all about requests. You want to hear me try different genres and styles? As long as the guitar I'm holding can do what you're asking me to do, I'm all in. If not, then I'll go get that guitar or do it in another stream and make a note that we need to do that. When I have that guitar in hand, I'm all in. But in this particular case, the Bill Lawrence USA L500XL is a fucking perfect pickup for black metal in just about every way, shape, and form possible. Now, a Randall Satan is a great amp, in my opinion, for black metal because there's that crazy midsection. But there's also a lot of different sounds that it can make. So let's just have some fun with some different black metal sounds. That also would be perfect. Oh, a little bit too much there. A little bit too much emphasis. I need to practice some of my black metal leads. That's the kind of vibe that I'm getting. Then you bring in a thunderous bass tone in the type of black metal I enjoy. I want to put it out there that as raw as I get in the black metal world while enjoying myself and not wanting to jam ice picks into my fucking ears is about Marduk. That's about as raw as I get. Anything that's a little bit more raw than Marduk, I think we're getting to a point at that point where I'm starting to enjoy myself less, but I still very much respect and enjoy the craft. I might not like it when it goes in here, but I also hate jazz music a lot. Most of it. Some of it I really enjoy, but most of it I really hate, but I respect it to absolutely no end because it takes real passion to get that good at something. And with black metal, it takes real passion to just do it, to just get out there, write songs, record it, and anything else. So I always respect bands for just doing their thing. I don't have to like everything. I respect everything that deserves respect, though. But as far as heavy as and raw as I get with black metal, and the background music to talking about black metal right now is just pristine. It's perfect. I also really like Immortal. I love Abbot's solo stuff. There's a great many black metal bands. Emperor, love Emperor. However, I kind of wish I could give them a bigger recording budget because back in the day they were having to make a lot of things get heard in that mix, and then all of a sudden you couldn't hear much of anything. There's a lot of those Emperor albums. I wish I could go back and tinker with them. I know somebody out there probably would want to just that to me for even suggesting it, but I'm that guy. I'll do it. So yeah. Oh man, no problem. I was just completely. You can ask the guys. We all respect black metal, and I talk black metal with my friend Phil all the time, and he's always sending me new stuff. I can never remember the names of the bands, but everything he sends me is fucking ripping. I just have my favorites like Dark Funeral. I love me some Dark Funeral, Immortal. These might be bands that are kind of floating more towards the middle of towards the top, but in this sense, I find that more and more underground I get with black metal, it takes me further and further away. Not to mention you have a lot of solo projects and other things. But if I can remember more, and you know what? Just for you, we're going to book a black metal stream where we talk about black metal and what it takes to get those tones and the playing itself. Yeah, that would be fun. And I would say myself that I also use black metal and black metal tendencies in a lot of the metal that I write. But we're going to beef this up a tiny bit. But it doesn't need to sound like that for black metal either. I think, again, it's more of like the playing itself. So this is a scoop tone, but if, again... You really got to just, what I really need to do is put my string wrap on the end and just like do one of those trem picking, like dark funeral leads where it's just like, that guy's a machine, man. It's hard to play those trem picking leads so precise. That stuff, I mean, again, it's a myth that black metal is not hard music to play. It's just often played by, I don't know I don't want to say it like that too. It's oftentimes, you know what? I'm not even going to say that because there are a lot of guys playing in black metal bands that are playing way under what the things they can do. So you can never judge a musician by the type of band he's playing in. However, if you have a drummer that cannot play in time or cannot play a blast beat, but is trying to blast at 220, you might be fighting against the current a little bit. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, but if you cannot blast, don't. That's it. Just like I'm often going to say, if you can't solo or make at least, you don't have to be able to shred to solo. If you can't even make if you don't have a feel for what it takes to at least put together a nice simple lead, but you're a hell of a rhythm player, just play the rhythm, man. I stay in my lane too. I'm not much of a lead player, folks. I'll stay in my lane. Does that make any sense? Get me the date. Yeah, man, guitar is not easy. A lot of people think guitar is easy, but even like with black metal, the tough thing is you're playing in that minor form a lot. And that when you're trying to do that at a high speed and changing chords, and like there are black metal riffs like in Marduk where it's just like, and they're switching those minor chords and they're sliding them between. Dark Funeral has one song where they slide it between like here and here, but it's like a super fast slide. That's not easy to do in a minor shape. So I think with black metal, as long as it's recorded so I can hear things, the mic is not residing inside the singer's mouth. Like he's not putting the entire ball and cupping don't cup the ball. Don't fucking cup the ball. Don't cup the ball. And the only singer that's never been able to get that, I'm not even going to say it. I don't want to get beat up. There's one singer in metalcore that just never got the message that don't cup the ball. But don't cup the ball. And anyways, with black metal, I feel like if it's recorded so I can hear it, I don't care what gear you use. Use a PV fucking Bandit and a BC Rich guitar with stock pickups and 4 strings. Nah, not 4 strings. You got to be able to have. You could even be missing your low string. You could be missing the low E and still play in a black metal band. But you got to have a drummer that can play a bit. That's the thing for me. I got to have a drummer. Like Marduk has such a fantastic fucking drummer. Goat Whore. Fantastic fucking drummer. Such a great drummers in those bands that are just and eclectic singing and great songwriting. Dark Funeral, fucking monster drummers they've had throughout their entire career. So yeah, I could talk black metal, and we're going to talk black metal more on a stream sometime soon. But guys, I'm going to get going tomorrow morning, Eastern time. I'm probably going to be here. I'm going to assume I'm going to be here in the ballpark of 10 a.m. Eastern time. If there's anybody that wants to join me for another look at TH-U on the cleaner side, that'd be cool. I'd be down. And today I think we went over a good many of the features but none of the gear. Like, guys, there's so much gear. You need to go to Overloud TH-U, the website the website link. Go to the page and go through the amount of gear. There's a gear list, and you can go through that. And it'll tell you everything that's available. There's so much. Really is a ton and tons of pedals. Although I think they could do a few more overdrive pedals. Maybe get a little interesting with some of the boutique stuff. But tomorrow I will show you guys through some of the cleaner tones. Maybe we'll make some surf. Maybe we'll make some country. Maybe we'll do some southern rock or some dad rock tones. I'm not going to get any heavier than that. It's going to be mostly chill stream listening to, and we'll do some lead work, just some simple stuff. But today I think we got some pretty good metal tones out of this, and I think they could do with the technology they have and the modeling that they have. I think they could do a few more things with the metal side of their products. I think they could, but we'll talk about that in another stream. So again, thank you so much for being here. Make sure, please do like and subscribe. I don't like to say that more than once, and if I even do say it once, because gosh, it seems so it's just so tedious. If I ever become the type of person that's stopping a stream to tell you to like and subscribe, like I see these days, these little skits and stuff to remind you to like and subscribe, please just unsubscribe from me immediately. Anyways, thank you for being here, and I'll see you guys again tomorrow. Keep in mind, week after next, I do have the entire week off for a spring/March break, and I will be on here every single day. I will try to get some prizes together, and we'll have some fun over the break, and I look forward to it greatly. Thank you so much. Also, make sure to check out our sponsors, Mindzinger Guitars and Aurora Tone Pickups, both Canadian-made stuff and both very high quality. Check them out ASAP. We'll see you again soon. Thanks for being here.